kumara. And that's me spinach, and plenty of it too. And kale with lots of those little white flies, little bastards, they eat everything. Plenty of kale. The Americans, well, they call this Swiss chard. I call it silver beet. That's actually also a silver beet, even though it's a purple colour. And plenty more kale. Still getting loads of tomatoes. Heaps. Cherry bomb tomatoes. I've just parked up here in a chair. Watered the rhubarb, more kale, and my cherry tomatoes. I just wanted to do some watering of the garden this morning and chat with my brothers and the occasional sister on the Broadcheck Club, because I haven't put a video up here for a while. If I sound a little bit raspy, that's because I've got the old Rona right now, first time. Managed to go 5 years without catching that. Finally did. Day 3. That's okay. The immune system will do its job and hopefully I'll be all sweet. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you today, and it was triggered to me by watering this garden, is I had a friend, a very dear friend. He's dead now. And he told me that one of his joys in his life, he was an elderly guy, he was older, probably in his mid-70s when he passed, and he said to me one of the things he really enjoyed was watering his garden. He was overweight, he was quite obese, and in the end all he could do was sit in a quad bike, which was sad because he was a lovely guy, enjoyed his hunting and his fishing, but in the end his quad bike was all he was left with. Sitting in his quad bike, watering his garden, it was the only thing he could manage. He'd start the quad bike up, get up and go and do all his tomatoes outside, and that was his physical thing. And when his obesity and his diabetes and everything got so bad, he couldn't even do that. And he said that's when he lost his final joy. And I had said to him 3.5 years earlier, I said, bro, you need to stop eating the food you're eating, constantly eating chocolate. Chocolate fish was his favourite thing. He'd be putting food in his mouth all the time, overeating, because he had an addictive personality and an emotional dependence on food, which I completely understand that, and he couldn't stop it. I said, how much joy is the food really giving you? Is it giving you as much joy as watering your garden did? And he said, no. After I've had it, I just want more. And I said, well, now you can no longer water your garden, and the next thing will be sickness, and then will come death. It's not too late to turn that around. But he never could turn that around until he died a terrible death. And in the end, I would take him, I'd go and pick him up from the home he was staying in, I'd take him for a drive, we'd talk. He could hardly get into my truck. We'd have a few laughs, but he was struggling so badly. And still he'd be putting the food into his mouth that he shouldn't be having. All the processed junk. Anything in a packet's junk, you know. Anything that's got numbers on it's junk. All those oils and particularly processed food. And he couldn't stop it. And I understood that, and I could actually see his demise. I've talked a lot about it before in this channel. And it's that old Tibetan saying, which man is prepared to fight and die for the cause, but he's not prepared to give up the cause of his suffering. That means you'll fight for things you really want to keep having. I'm going to keep on eating this, and you'll fight to the bitter end. But it's often the cause of your suffering, and not just with food, it's with anything. It's with bad relationships, it's with fighting for the right to do something that's actually detrimental to the health of others, or yourself, or your community, and people will do that, but they won't give it up. And it invariably costs us pain and causes us pain and suffering, and costs us our lives. So this bloke, at the very, very end, on the phone, he'd talk to me most days, ring me up. He was one of my patrons too, and he'd ring me up, and I'd say, mate, what's the pain level today? And he said, today it's a 10, bro. It's a 10. Well, I said, well, 10's when you pass out. And he said, yeah, well, I did pass out earlier, so I'm conscious again now. So that's where he was at. My heart broke. And when he died, it came to me as somehow a partial relief that he'd passed, because he was no longer suffering in his pain. But the thing that I felt sorry for was the fact that this amazing human with all his resources and incredible knowledge that he passed on to me was no longer here. And I guess that's the human attachment that I had to him. And I wished I could have helped him with his addiction, and his food addiction, because it was his food addiction that killed him. A lot of diseases we have are foodborne. People go, oh, it's genetics. well, yes, we're predisposed genetically to a lot of things, a lot of cancers and a lot of coronary artery disease and all that, and blindness, and there's a lot of things that we genetically predisposed depending on our parents. But it's like a pile of kindling, and it's putting that match to the kindling that sets it on fire, and it's the food that's the match that you put on. So the best thing we could all do, it's not just diet, of course, it's a big part is mindset and sleep management and pain management and looking after relationships and looking after that bit of jelly between your ears, not taking in substances that are going to destroy your equilibrium and bugger up your circadian rhythm, getting yourself out of bed and getting that first morning light, getting that regular exercise and practicing those good habits. But it all begins with, first of all, getting rid of the cause, whatever that is, of our suffering, letting that go, getting rid of it. And for my mate that died, he was never going to be able to get rid of it because he was so addicted to food. He couldn't help it. And I get that because I've had addictions myself through my life. I've now got the greedy fairy, as I call him, under control. I now don't succumb to the things that I really would like to indulge in, but I know that they will destroy me and they'll destroy the people I love. And that's hard. I'm 60 now and it's come with a lot of work. Anyway, I think I picked up the old corona. I did this St Patrick's Day gig in Blenheim, and I was playing to an international audience because it's the backpackers above it there, and I was at the Criterion Hotel, and there was one girl up the front who was coughing a lot right on top of me, literally. And I remember thinking that night, well, whatever she's got, I've probably got now too, because I could actually feel little bits of spray. She was dancing and laughing and drunk, and that's okay. I don't think it matters how good your immune system is. If you've got the best immune system in the world, you'll still get the virus, but what it does do is when you get it, you'll handle it a lot better. And I seem to be handling it reasonably good, and I'm grateful for that, because I know that not everybody does, and it affects everybody in a different way. Anyway, that's my very short video today. Try to see if you can let go of the cause of your own suffering. If you do have anything that's causing you to suffer, try to work out a different way, come from a different place in yourself to let it go. And that might be just working out a way to manage it. One of the things I will tell you all, I'll end up on this, is exercise is just as important as diet. And 10 years ago there was an amazing finding. 10 years ago, this is science. They discovered that the human muscle, it's an endocrine system. So that there, the muscle in your legs and your chest, even in your jaw, by exercising it, whether you're playing rugby or you're boxing or you're going hunting or you're playing tennis or golf or going to the gym, working out on weights, doing marathons or just doing short range 100-metre sprints, whatever you're doing, hanging from a tree or hanging from a place in the gym, doesn't really matter so long as you're using your muscle. Prolong use of it over a period of time and it releases a molecule, and they're calling it the hope molecule, because what it does is it triggers these endorphins. It gives you hope. Whatever a bad situation you're in, it actually lifts you up, so you're feeling good. Right now, because I've been under the weather, I'm not going to be exercising too much, because you've also got to conserve energy for your immune system to fight off all the bad cells that the old T cells get together and fight. So you don't want to excess too much exertion when you're sick, because you need to rest to get well. But also you want sunlight, and you want to have things that are joyful, people that make you laugh, and stay positive, and get out and water your garden or do whatever it is you love. Anyway, boys and girls, that was the Broadsheet Club today. If you know a brother who's struggling and you think this video might help him, share it with him, or don't. And if you feel compelled to hit the like button, hit it, and if you don't feel compelled, don't. It's an interesting study. People that hit the like button release dopamine. Isn't that magic? When you hit the like button, it actually gives you a little bit of dopamine. Or maybe that's why everybody hits the like button. And I don't know if hitting the dislike button does the opposite. Maybe try it in this video and see how much you feel. I don't mind. You do whatever you want. Lots of love to my brothers, and I'll catch you in the next Broadsheet Club video. Go steady. See ya.